Welcome to Ultimate DIY, where you learn to be your own handyman. And today I'm going to show you how you can install your own smart thermostat. All right, guys, as you can see, the thermostat is already on the wall. What I took off was a Honeywell Home, which is just a basic thermostat. Now, you're probably looking at this wall and you're saying, man, what is all the black plastic and what is all this stuff hanging in here? This is going to be my coffee room slash kitchen. It is a big room, which is going to have a 12-foot island on one side behind the camera. On this side over here, we are going to have a big coffee bar. So this whole area will be a future video coming. So be sure you watch for that. If you're not a subscriber, be sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see what it's going to look like when it hits. So let's go ahead and get to the thermostat. Thermostats are definitely a DIY project. They are a little bit scary because you have a bunch of little wires inside of there. The one that came off of here has a mounting plate like this and has little set screws, and all the wires went on them. Now, if it is put in correctly, they're going to be color coded, which is going to make it very easy for you. Now, this one, I installed the wire, and I installed a very thick wire with several extra wires in it for future expansion if I decide to do something different. This is a smart thermostat, and this thermostat will automatically cool, automatically heat. You're going to set your parameters, and it will switch back and forth. The old type, you had to switch to cool if you want to cool, or you switched it to heat if you wanted to heat. This one, you don't have to do that any longer. That makes it really cool. Now, a couple of things that you need to know. The smart systems have to have a common wire. That common wire is usually going to be blue. Now, it is not always blue because someone could have wired it with whatever wire that they had. Now mine, when I pulled this out, I had my common wire sitting there ready to rock and roll, and it was already hooked up in the furnace. Now I'm going to go up into the attic. I'm going to give you a little quick tour of what this room looks like, walk up there and show you what that looks like in the furnace so that you know exactly which wire, so you're not shorting things out. And speaking of shorting things out, make sure that you power your system down. If you do not go up, to wherever your furnace is, whether it's up in an attic, down in a basement, or in a closet, turn off the power to it. Unplug it if you have a plug to make double sure. If you don't do that and you touch wires together, you are going to blow a fuse on that board in your furnace.
Jesus H. God.
Ask me how I know. I've done it. It's not a lot of fun. You have to go up and figure out where that little fuse is at, get it out, get a new one in there. If it's late in the evening and you need air conditioning to go to sleep, you're not going to be real happy having to run and find a fuse. So make sure you power off. I'm going to show you what it looks like in my attic because that's where mine is at. And it's very simple. You're basically going to have, like in this one, this is actually made by a company called Meross, I believe is how you say it, Meross. And it is a very nice little unit. They have nice instructions. This is, like I said, a smart system. It works with Alexa, Apple, Google, SmartThings, and you're going to set it up with the Matter app. They have their own little app that you set up and tie to Matter, and then you can tie to Alexa. I actually have Alexa, but I'm probably going to use their app for right now because of the simplicity of it. I love the way you set it up. I'll show you a little bit of footage of that as we get into the video so that you understand how it's done. But the main reason for this video is to show you how to actually wire it in. So you're going to take the wires, and let me open this up and I'll tell you exactly what the colors are that you are going to use. You're going to have a white, you're going to have a red, you're going to have the blue, which is generally the common, and let's see, we have a green and I believe a yellow. And you're just going to simply match those to the actual ports. This whole piece pulls off just like this one does right here. Now, I was not using the common because this had a battery system which kept the brain working. These smart ones have to have a constant power supply. That's why the blue has to be hooked up. Now, if you do not have a blue wire, a common, they have a kit. Matter of fact, this particular brand has its own. So you would actually just look it up. As a matter of fact, I'll put the link in the description so that you can get the adapter kit, which will allow you, if you've got old wiring and you have an old system like this and you do not have the common, it will allow you to get a common without running a whole brand new wire. And sometimes that's not easy going through walls and things and getting it over here. So it's much easier to use that adapter. Now, the one wire that is a little tricky on this system is they do not have a regular just W for white. They have like a W1 and a W2, which is going to be for single stage system for the first one, which is what I'm running right now. Or if you have a two-stage system like 2-speed or 3-speed, you're going to hook up in different places. You also on this system can not only work regular electrical heat, you can work gas heat, which is what I'm using, or you can use a heat pump. It also has the setup if you're using a humidifier, you can wire that in as well. So there's a lot of different options. Now, this is the manual that came with the system. This is the manual that came with my Lennox 5-ton furnace. So I've got it right here, which actually I believe this is a 4-ton furnace, 5-ton outdoor unit. So I can go in here and I can check my colors and everything and make sure everything is correct. Now the system that I'm using, let's go ahead and kind of open this up so you see what you get. You're going to get some little labels in here so you can label the wires if you like, which is a kind of a nice thing if you're ever going to change thermostats later. And it's easy to make sure that you have the wires in the right place. Now this particular one has little screws and I have to unscrew them with a little screwdriver to pull the wires. The new system, this is the back mounting plate, and these have little quick connect clips, which is kind of nice. I don't have to use a screwdriver with this one. It's going to come with a really nice instruction manual that walks you through everything. This is the actual module itself that just slides on like the front of the other one did. It'll slide here, and it has all the little quick connects in the back there, so I don't have to wire. You're not going to see anything here until it's powered up. Now, the other two things that I'm going to have in this one is going to be some mounting screws and some little anchors until I get the drywall up. This is just going to be anchored simply into the studs, which are directly behind this black sheathing. This black sheathing is going to be an entryway to be able to get under my house. And it has all the plumbing for a big coffee room area over here to this side of me. So normally if you're in sheetrock and you end up with a bigger hole or something, this is a back plate that you can mount first, and you mount this actually on that plate just like that, and it has a little level so that you can get it totally level and make it look nice. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible so that you understand what's going on. The very first thing you're going to want to do, guys, is take a couple of pictures with your phone so you know exactly where everything was actually at in here. And then the next thing we're going to do is where you're going to look at our colors. We have R for red. We have C for common, which is going to generally be this blue wire. You're going to have green, which we have right there. I have yellow right there. And then I have a star and a Y2. Now, the Y2 and the star are going to be if you have a multi-stage system or if you have a single stage system, and the star itself is going to be for a humidifier if you have a humidifier. So I'm going to undo my little wires right here, get inside it, and get them loose so that I can pull them out. Just like that right there. Now all my wires should be able to pull up. Now, if you do not shut the power off, you will be blowing fuses and you will have to fix that up in your control board. Now, I ran extra wire when I ran and installed this. That's why you're going to see these back here that are clipped off. Those are extras. It always gives me extra wiring if I change to a more elaborate system somewhere down the road and I need wire, or if a wire breaks in the wall. Now I'm going to unscrew the actual screw and remove this. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and install the plate, and it shows you the up marks. That way I don't lose it, even though I don't really need that plate right now. You're going to want to feed your wires through here first. So we go just like that, and we work our way through here. I think I got a wire still stuck there. It's the red wire. See if we can get that in. There we go. Okay. Now, the way these go is from the side, so it's almost easier, I think, to go ahead and put these on before you screw it in. So we are going to go ahead and do that first and get all of our wires where they need to go. So let's get this red undone, blue. Let's get everything spread out so that we can see what we have. All right, so our very first wire that needs to go in is red. Let's see, right there. And let's see, there it is. So these will actually push down and lock into place. Our common is going to be our blue right here. It may help sometimes to go ahead and straighten these a little. Be careful that you don't overbend them or they'll just snap off. But let's see if we can get that one inside of there. There it is. And push it. Matter of fact, you don't even have to push it down. You push that in enough, it actually pushes it down itself for you. I do like that. There we go. You'll hear it click. That way you know you got it right. Okay, our green wire is going to be next. So we're going to take, and let's see if we can do it that way this time where you can see. All right, I'm going to push it. That is locked in. All right. Now we have yellow. The yellow looks like it might need to go a little more. Let's see if I can push it a little harder. Yep, that's it. I think I just had a little extra turn back. And then now we have our white. So as far as the white wire goes, it should be over here with the W and auxiliary. Now, if you have a multi-stage system, you will have a W2 underneath it. So you'll have two of them. So we are going to push that in and it should clip. There we go. Now it's in. Now the trick is to get all of this into this little spot here in the middle. That's probably one of the big drawbacks here to this particular unit is it's kind of hard to get all of these in. Let's see, what I'm going to do is try to go ahead and mount it. Just like that. And it is plastic, guys. You do not want to over crank this. I'm using my little level to get it level so it looks somewhat level, even though it doesn't really matter a whole lot on this because this is a temporary, but you still don't want it to look real bad. Right there's level. There we go. All right, so now working these down in there. Now you can trim these wires a little, but I really don't want to do that because this is not permanent yet and it's going to come on and off a few times. I want to make sure I keep plenty of wire. So that looks pretty good right there. Now we can plug the unit in, and the unit is simply going to, you have an up here, you have your little QR code at the top. So we are going to plug it in right here. Now there is a protective coating on this right now, but it's going to look just like that. So I'm going to grab the camera and I'm going to take you upstairs and kind of give you a quick rundown of the way my unit looks. All right, I'm going to give you a quick tour real quick just so you can kind of see what's going on. This is the wall that the thermostat is mounted on. We have the washer and dryer temporarily installed there because the plumbing is there for our coffee bar that is going to be built in this area. We also have the commercial fridge and freezer. The door itself is going to be replaced, and we have to finish all of our sheetrock. Everything on this side of the house is complete other than the hallway here. So there's 3 bedrooms down there and a big bathroom. We have already done all the vaulted ceilings. I did a really cool little vaulted area as you enter, and then over what it's going to be the kitchen. Right where you see the table here is going to be a big island, all in this area, about a 12-foot island. Over on this side is going to be an entryway, which is going to lead into a really big pantry. Right now we are using it for storage. And right here on this wall, we are going to put a big door, which will ultimately be the laundry. Now, the floor is still open right here because that's the way I'm getting underneath to actually work. But all of the plywood that you see over here is going to be the next layer over the main part of this, part of the house. This is going to be the actual utility room. I'll show you that in a second as we go up. This is a little guest bathroom that we just finished with river rock floor and riptide tile. Came out really nice. This section here, I still have a custom shelf that we're going to build, and that'll be a future episode as well. And if you come down here, I built the stairs. They're all concrete with really heavy stone. That was a fun job. And this is our living area. We don't have any of the pictures or anything up on the wall yet. I have the windows with the electric blinds that go up and down. We do have an episode showing that. And our big sofa system for our gathering. We have the big 8-foot fan up at the top. And we are going to have cedar going all around the entry coming in. Here is our Alexa system already set up and ready to rock and roll. And we have our big TV here with our great big 8-foot iron doors that lead to the backyard. You can see my big workshop in the back that I have built, that we have a lot of future stuff planned for woodworking. And this is ultimately going to be a guest bedroom. We are using it right now temporarily till we rebuild our master area. This was a really interesting door setup here with the area up above for storage. So let's go ahead now and get upstairs and let's take a look at our unit. So our utility room here is going to have like a Murphy door, which will kind of hide this area, and you'll be able to come in, and it has all of our PEX A valve bodies. Over here is the heat. This is the cold water with all separate shutoffs for everything in the house. And this is our electric panel here, water filter system down below, hot water heater, and this is going to be our fiber optic internet system. So let's go ahead and go up and into the attic. Now, I did totally rebuild the house and the attic. So the attic, I gained 3 feet. See if I can get up there. There we go. So this is my attic. There's the system. I redid all the duct work and everything else in here and made it much nicer so you could walk. Used to, you had to crawl on your belly up in here. Now, I've already come up here and powered my system off and unplugged it so that I cannot short out my system. Now, you'll pull off your panels. I have a Linux. This one comes off first, and then this one. And if you look inside, I have 2 sets of wires. One smart thermostat, one is outside unit. Here's my white wire, which right here goes to heat. And here is my common. You'll see that there's a C. That is the blue wire. That's how I know that I have it up. That's how I know that I have it connected correctly. So what we're going to do now, put everything back together up here, plug it in, and let's see how the system works. So I have two little screws I put in. I install both of these little hand tightening ones. There is a screw in there that you can tighten it up with a screw gun if you need to. I will take and plug these in. I have grid and I have generator. So we are going to tie it into the grid side. Generator I have run to the back where I can power my heat if I need to. And then we are going to flip it into the on. Off is at the top, HVAC on down here. So we are ready to go. One thing you guys might want to do, I came up here and wrote all my serial numbers down on my unit, and when I installed them, it set for a while we were building, but I showed the install date and show that they're registered. But all of these numbers will definitely help you in the future when you need to know what unit you have. And I did install the bigger wide filter system that's going to use a filter this size. Makes a big difference. All right, so let's head back down and let's get to checking this unit out and make sure that everything is working correctly. All right, guys, we have it up and running. Everything is working fine. I will tell you, I rewired it 3 times, full disclosure, thinking I did something wrong. My vent that I was checking is directly above head here, and I had forgotten that I had gone upstairs and actually turned off the damper in the attic that controlled that vent because it was constantly causing my air conditioner to trip on and off because it was so close. Because this is not the permanent location that this is going to end up at. So once I figured that out, everything is perfect. It works great. Now, when you actually turn on the unit here, you can actually set this on the heat side. You can set it on the cold side. You can maneuver that, how it works. Right now I have it where heat will come on at 60 degrees or lower. If it's above 60, my air conditioner is going to come on and blow cool air. So that's a very cool thing. Now you have all of the other parameters you can set. I can set this on timer 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I can have it to come on in the morning and start pre-warming or pre-cooling before we get out of bed. I've got all kinds of things that we can do. We can have it shut off during the day while we're not here or shut way back. So there's a lot of really cool things. So far, I'm very impressed with the unit. It was very simple to install. I like the look of it. I think it's going to be great. So hopefully this helped you guys a little bit and made you realize that putting in a thermostat is really a DIY project. And if you are confused at all, if you do not have that blue wire hooked up or you need to hook one up, just pull the front of your panel and you can look on the board and it's going to have a C for common. If you have a wire there, look at the color and see what color wires you have down here. If you do not have a common wire, be sure you order the common wire kit. So I hope this helps. If you're not a subscriber, be sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you know about all of our upcoming videos as they come out. And I hope to see you guys on the next one.